Assalamu alaikum, my name is Fedi Lecamus. I've booked over 1,000 sales calls for my business in the last 5 months without having to literally spend thousands of dollars on softwares or sit there on my computer trying to personalize every single line to make sure that they potentially reply to me. And this is my biggest win, alhamdulillah, without having to pick up the phone and cold call for hours and hours on end. Now I can just pick up my phone and in 20 minutes after using my phone and with the outreach method, bam, 2 to 5 meetings every single day, alhamdulillah. So inshallah, I want to show you the 2 biggest psychological leverages that you can use to install in your outreach so that you literally have potential clients, right? You've got your prospects burning to book a meeting with you. So let's jump in. Before that though, do you want to know why 99% of Muslim agency owners and coaches fail to book meetings with their outreach? Okay, well here's why. Because they don't focus on the who. Dan Kennedy said, effective marketing is about the who. It's about who you are talking to. It's about appeasing and making sure that everything has to do with the prospect that you are reaching out to. The words that you use, everything that you do has to be something that aligns with your who. Now, if you notice, I mentioned the words that you use. Language is something that is incredibly important. I remember sitting at my desk trying to understand why I booked 0 meetings back when I had my dental agency after 2 or 3 weeks of consistent outreach every single day. I was like, what is going on here? I look at my sheet, I'm like, I've done like 120 outreaches, which isn't loads, but in the DM method that I use, it's supposed to get me something. So what's happened here? Then I realized I was using language such as high ticket, clients, and I was talking about ROI. Now, these are words that dentists obviously know. They know that these words exist. They know that they are real words. However, these aren't words that they use. This doesn't fit in their language. Their language isn't high ticket clients or get a certain ROI. Their language is very different. So I had to switch from high ticket to high net worth, or maybe not high net worth, but describe the type of patient. For example, Invisalign patients, I had to go from clients to patients, right? To actually be talking about the type of people that they have in their business. And then from ROI to just return. That's it. That's all I had to do. I had to change my language because when I was reaching out to them using the words high ticket, client, ROI, they obviously knew that I knew what I was talking about when it comes to marketing. But they thought this guy has no idea what he's talking about in regard to dentistry. This guy's clearly never worked with a dentist. Because if that was the case, if his business was actually made for dentists, then why is he using these words? And this is incredibly important to know because you need your prospects to be naturally trusting you. They need to trust you off the bat. If they don't trust you off the bat because they start questioning you, the first thing they'll question is your language. And that's why 99% of people who do outreach end up failing their outreach because they are using the wrong language. They're using language that they know, but not language that their prospect uses or is familiar with. So one of the biggest psychological leverages you can use is this thing right here. And obviously I'll explain what it is exactly, but it's called the consistency bias. Now, we want to be consistent with ourselves, most importantly. You see, humans, of course, want to be seen as consistent amongst their other peers, but they also want to be seen as consistent amongst themselves. Specifically, when it's amongst us, it's consistent with our beliefs. When it comes to our peers, we want to be consistent in our actions and our reasons to why we do certain things. But for us to be able to justify those things, we have to be consistent with our beliefs. Now, every reason to do something creates a belief, and every action to do that thing is also creating a belief or backing up a belief. Now, this is incredibly important because every single thing that you do is to back up a belief that you have already. But we're not going to dive into that, right? What we're going to talk about is in terms of your prospects and the outreach that you're using to get them to book a meeting with you, how can you use the consistency bias to make them really want to book a meeting with you? So imagine the reason, right, for the action. The action is brushing your teeth. And then imagine the reason is that your mum tells you that if you don't brush your teeth, all your teeth are going to fall off. Now you have one reason to brush your teeth, and it's holding up the action of actually you brushing your teeth. But let's say you get another reason now. You do your own research in terms of brushing your teeth and you figure out that if you lose your teeth, right, or if you don't brush your teeth, then what you have is cavities, and these cavities are painful. So now you've got pain as a justification to brushing your teeth. Now let's say something else. You realize that if you have no teeth, you'll be ugly. So now, although being ugly is another form of pain, now you realize that, okay, another reason I need to brush my teeth is because I'm ugly. Now, let's say a final reason is that you want to have pearly white teeth, right? You want to look handsome. So the opposite of ugly, you want to look handsome with your teeth. Now, Let's say your mum stopped telling you to brush your teeth. The initial reason that you had is now disappeared. But the reason this action is continued is because you've created other reasons that back up the initial belief that you had in your mind, which is I need to brush my teeth. And this works with our prospects as well. And the way it works with our prospects is that they want to be seen as consistent with their beliefs. So in every single outreach that you do, and specifically the DM method that I use, what you want to actually do is this thing. You want to ask a really simple question, like really, really simple question that they have to say yes to. And if they say no to, then what they're doing is being unqualified. And that's fine, right? Because if they don't need your help, then that's fine. But the simple question might be, for most business owners, for example, can you take on more clients? If they say, yes, I can take on more clients. So now they've got one reason to reply to you and book a call, which is, I need more clients. Okay, so the action is to book a call with you or to reply to you. And this is the justifications that are going to back up the belief that this is necessary. They've already said yes to you because they need more clients. So then when you ask them, are you cool with me sharing with you a way for you to get more clients? Again, a very easy yes and no. If they say no, here, it's actually going to cause some cognitive dissonance, which is like this uncomfortable feeling in your brain, this uncomfortable feeling that we have, because they're going against the initial reason for them to say yes. They're going against it, so it feels off. So it's very hard for them to say no. Most likely what they'll do is they'll say yes to you. And now they've given themselves a second reason to book a meeting with you because they've said yes twice. So they said, yes, I do need more clients, and yes, I do need your help. Now what we want to do is probably give them one more, right? So what this does is once you get permission to share, let's say a resource or a VSL or whatever it would be, if you tell them an amazing offer, then what you're doing is creating a final other reason for them to book a meeting with you or want to buy from you. Well, let's say book a meeting with you before they buy, right? For them to actually book a meeting and show up to the meeting. Because you see, you asked them the initial question, which ignited a belief in their mind, which is, yes, I do need more clients. Okay, cool. Yes, you've said, yes, you need more clients. So like when you say no to me later, are you denying that you need more clients? Do you see what I mean? Like it causes some sort of cognitive dissonance. They say yes again. Now they have a second reason to back up their initial action, which was to say yes to you. Like it compounds on itself, right? Then when you show them an amazing offer, and then they end up saying yes to that offer, what they've done is they've been consistent all the way through, and you have a very, very happy prospect. Like a prospect who is incredibly excited, I guess you could say, to jump on the call with you. Because psychologically, the path of yes in this case has been incredibly smooth. Now, most people, when they do outreach, they make a really big mistake, which is that they start pushing on their prospects. They give them harsh CTAs, right? The call to action might be, let's book a meeting. They don't kind of open up the gates for their prospects to make a decision. They always corner their prospects. So the consistency bias that I just showed you there in terms of building that momentum for them to be consistent with their beliefs and actions can actually be destroyed if you don't avoid this one mistake right here that I'm going to show you. Most people's CTAs, as I said, are to book a call, right? They're what I call a harsh CTA because they basically close somebody in. Now, if you were to try and chase an animal and you were to have the animal up against the wall, what do you think the animal would do? Do you think the animal would just give up? The thing that the animal is thinking is, how do I escape? And we humans psychologically are similar, not to animals specifically, but to the feeling when we feel trapped. When you feel trapped, you feel like you want to escape. I'll give you another example. As a kid, I used to be left no choice, and I mean no choice, onto what I'm supposed to eat for breakfast. Not because my mum was like very restrictive with my diet, but just because I didn't know what I liked. So every single day, because I didn't like the options, this is the key thing, because I didn't like the options given to me, I just tried to skip breakfast. I just didn't want to eat. And the second my mum started like buying some other stuff for me and my brother to have for breakfast, I actually wanted to eat breakfast because the options that I now had left me a choice. When you leave somebody a choice, and an easy one at that, you end up destroying this little mental barrier that they have, which they're trying to find a way to escape, right? Because you created this barrier for them mentally. Instead, if let's say you open this corner right here, then what, instead of trying to escape, they'll think, yeah, absolutely, I'll take that corner right there. Let's say you open another corner there. They'll think, yeah, I'll take that corner there too. But how do we make it so that the choices they make are the choices that we want them to make? Well, that's an amazing question. Let me show you how to do that. In the 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene talks about controlling the agenda. Now, I study a lot of elite theory because I study politics. And for me, understanding that the agenda is set by the elites, right? Whoever sets the agenda is the one who has power in the conversation. We want to take the same route. We want to use this trick that the elites use. What we want to do is give them two choices. But this is the important thing. We want to make the choice that we want them to take, let's say the yes, incredibly appealing, and the no seem incredibly hard. Now, we already do this with the consistency bias by making yes the easier choice, and the yes being the choice that they are committed to, so they can continue doing it. What we want to do is make the no a choice that just doesn't seem that bad, but the yes, the choice that seems really good. I'm going to give you an example of a CTA that you can make to make sure that you have this method used in your powers, right? Because Machiavelli talks about, in one of his discourses on Levy, he talks about how if you want to have power, all you have to do is control the cards on the table. That way, no matter what a prospect picks, right? Or in this case, Machiavelli wasn't talking about prospects, but in our case, no matter what the prospect picks, whatever card they pick, you know which ones are on the table. You know what they could pick. So when you give them a CTA and you give them a way out, the way out isn't actually a way out. It's a way for you to understand them better. So I'll give you an example now. Let's say we have the CTA of, are you open to book a meeting? Well, the yes for them is, now I have to give them a time commitment. Now they're probably gonna pressure me on the sales call. I don't really like where this is going. And the no is really easy because the no is just a no. There's no repercussions to saying no. Whereas if you asked a CTA such as, are you cool with me sharing more info? It gives them an open space to breathe, to make a decision. And this is still a very easy yes and no, but here's an even better one. Is signing more clients, I'm not going to write out the whole thing, right? But is signing more clients on your agenda? Is signing more clients on your radar at all, right? Is increasing LTV, is starting email or copywriting, whatever it would be, right? Is the outcome on your agenda? Now, they'll probably say yes to you. And this is why them saying yes comes back to the consistency bias, where then if you were to propose a call, it'd be easier for them to say yes. But most importantly is, by them saying no, it's not on my agenda, you realize one, okay, cool, this person probably isn't a fit. But number two, you can just ask them a follow-up question and they're more likely to answer because they don't feel trapped. Because this was your way out for them. And this is the even better thing you can do, okay? When you have a CTA, give them the option not to respond. Literally say to them, if you let's say you end up saying, right, is this on your agenda at all? Is this on your agenda at all? If not, no biggie. No need to reply, whatever that would be, right? So now when they don't reply, it's their choice. But if they do want to reply, if they initially wanted to reply, but they thought you were too salesy, all of a sudden they'll think, oh, okay, cool, this guy's leaving me a choice. So now I can actually find my way out if I want to. And again, when they say yes, consistency bias comes in, it becomes easier for them to continue saying yes. Now, the reason I say this is that a harsh CTA is the biggest mistake people make. And for you, what you want to do is have a CTA that has two outcomes, which is obviously them not doing anything, right? But you give them the option to not do anything and make that really undesirable. Like, if somebody said, no, signing more clients isn't on my agenda, then they could be lying. So you want it to be so easy for them to say yes, but also if you give them a way out to say no, you want it to be undesirable for them to say no. So for example, if you ask a stupid question, such as, no pressure, but would you like to jump on a call? It's like, that's still harsh. Like, even if you said no pressure, there's still a lot of commitment that you have to give to do that, right? Even if you ask something like, are you cool with me sending you over some free info? Like, give them a way out, like, are you cool with me sending you some more info? If not, no biggie, that's it. Or in the next email, I'll be sending you some more info. If you don't want that, just let me know. Do you see, like, you're telling them you're going to do something if you're giving them value. You're telling them you're going to do something and to expect it. And that might be part of your CTA. But if they don't want it, give them a way out, because otherwise they'll ignore you. So if they do say, oh yeah, actually I'm excited for you to send it, they'll actually watch the video that you're going to send them. And this is a big, big issue I see with people who want to give value in their outreach. They end up realizing that, okay, cool, nobody's watching my value. Nobody cares about my value. It's because you're telling them they need it. But if you give them a soft CTA, if you make them commit to seeing it, that helps. Same with your VSL, same with all your outreaches to book a meeting, etc. So those were the two best psychological aspects, right? Number one, the consistency bias. Having people be consistent with their beliefs and you igniting a belief that they have, right? And then leading them to that direction to be consistent with that belief. And number two, I guess we could call it agenda setting, right? Agenda setting CTA. And that you can do through soft CTAs. So those are the two main ways. Now, if you want to know the actual method that I use to use these psychological aspects, right? And the scripts that I use to be able to book 2 to 5 meetings every single day, then I created a full guide on the DM method down below. So you can check out in the description and the video that's going to come up here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.